Boost is back and supposedly better than ever, so let's take a deep dive into what the UltraBoost 5 has to offer. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on the Adidas UltraBoost 5, a line from Adidas running that is very consistent but also very confusing. I could have sworn there was more than 5 models. I know there was the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, possibly a 4.0, and then somewhere along those lines they switched things up and started calling things the 19, 20, 21, 22 for the years, but now we're back to 5, kind of like Jordan Brand. They did 23 and then did 2K9 until when? 2012, and all of a sudden it was 28, something like that. Now, I will say that these feel a little bit different from the last pair that I used. I had the UltraBoost 22, and these definitely don't feel like those. These are extremely light. Not only that, the boost itself feels very light. Granted, they call it light boost now, so that makes sense, but just saying, in hand, and even on foot, they don't feel quite as dense as that last pair that I tried out. So the outsole still features Continental rubber, which is awesome. That's kind of a through line throughout most of the UltraBoost models. And they use Continental rubber for a couple of reasons. One, it's for its tackiness and grip. Continental makes tires. They make all-terrain tires and all-purpose tires for all kinds of cars. So that makes sense. When you're taking these out on the road yourself, you don't know what the weather conditions can be. Well, actually, nowadays we do.
My breasts can always tell when it's gonna rain.
Second is for its durability. It's gonna last a little bit longer than typical standard rubber, at least according to them. So again, it's back on this model, and they still have the stretch web-like outsole as well. They just have a new variation of it. I think that looks cool. They've kind of twisted things up, so now it's elongated lines instead of kind of like circled pods, and you have actual like grip on there instead of little nubs and stuff. That was the one thing that like most Adidas boosts, like especially those original ones, those nubs just wore away really quickly. Even though it was Continental rubber, it's just that they were so small and so shallow. They just had no chance against pavement. And again, the cutouts that you have here for that stretch web factor as well as reducing weight, they are in a linear fashion, which is great because that's the way that you're running. You're running in a straight forward motion, and so you want that to be able to flex. Damn, these feel snappy. Now the snappiness just surprised me just a little bit because they didn't feel like that on foot. They just felt kind of like whatever. But they have their torsion system in there, so it does extend up to the forefoot area a little bit. You can kind of see it poking through right here. I like that they use the dual rubbers. That way you can see kind of like what the tack is. You can also see it run through the heel as well. It's almost like their infinity plate where it's a figure 8, but instead it's just got, you know, the forks at each end. Now they sent these over in a press kit and everything like that, so this is not the normal box or anything, but luckily this came with it. So right there you can actually see the actual plate, and it's kind of bowed. It's interesting. It almost looks like, Drew's explaining it to me, so that it looks like a frog. You know those toy frogs?
That or the half of a bouncy ball and you flip them inside out so that they'll pop.
I hated those.
Why?
Because they never worked for me. They were so scary. I was like, man, it's gonna pop in my face. I just didn't like it. I gotta laugh like that. Somebody out there's got to feel my pain. Anyways, it kind of looks like those little plastic frogs that you might get at the dentist, you know, just...
The treasure box?
Yeah, goodie bags and stuff like that.
You know, those poppers were in there too.
Yes, and I didn't go for them. So it's there for all kinds of torsional rigidity. That way, while you're in the shoe and in motion, it doesn't over twist, but also for a little bit of spring or pop. And yeah. It feels good. Now the boost material itself, like I was saying before, is considered light boost. Having this in hand, it's got me very intrigued for what is to come for the Adidas AE1 Low. Those are supposed to be featuring light boost within the midsole. And I know this is a running shoe, not a basketball shoe, but I am a basketball player. I'm not a runner. We have runners to do running reviews on the website. So that's what we do. There's all kinds of lists and everything like that. So if you were interested, go ahead and head on over there. There's always links down below in the description box. Now, even though the stack height looks massive, it doesn't actually feel that way. You do feel pretty stable inside the sneaker, which is interesting because every time I put on one of those super shoes, I feel like I'm about to like fly out the room. Not like that here. And per usual, they tout that they have more boost in this midsole than ever before. So again, we've got an increment of 5% more boost pellets within the midsole. And as far as overall feel goes, obviously super light in hand, not something that we normally coincide with boost cushioning. Typically it's dense and heavy, but with that, that. It definitely feels light on foot as well. It doesn't have that kind of like boostiness, you know what I mean? Like that spring back, the stuff that you felt or maybe fell in love with way back in the day when they did the original PureBoost. Those were wild, remember that? We tore through many pairs of those. And then the original Energy Boost, UltraBoost 1.0, so on and so forth. So while the last UltraBoost that I used felt kind of like heavy and dense, this guy feels light and stable, but also not as boosty as I'd like. Will that change while in motion? I'm assuming so. I'm assuming that you're gonna put some weight on this and then it's gonna compact those pellets and make them... Moving on up, we've got a prime knit upper. They're calling this adaptive prime knit, so it's supposed to move with your foot. I will say that it feels very good on foot. It feels super light, super airy, very breathable. Some of the yarns feel like plastic, so I believe that they're using recycled material within that as well. So if you like that, cool. If you don't, then just ignore that aspect altogether. In the toe right here, there is a very thin rand. It's pretty standard. That's been on most of the UltraBoost models, if not all of them. And then they've carried over the cage right here at the midfoot panel. It's a TPU material. This also feels really lightweight though. It feels like this could be made out of recycled material. I'm not actually sure. It just feels different than past iterations where they feel kind of like rubbery. This right here just, I don't know, feels a little different. Not different bad, just different. And then the heel, we still have the UltraBoost heel counter. That's probably like their signature aspect besides the boost itself. If it doesn't have that on there, is it really an UltraBoost? They have a breathable liner within the heel, and then they also have a couple of heel pillows as well, so they cup your Achilles just a little bit. And as far as fit is concerned, they do run true to size lengthwise. I will say that if you want a super snug, like casual fit, you may want to go down half a size. I would suggest trying them on first before ordering online, just to be safe. By the way, this is the insole. It's nothing special. Super lightweight, adds no real stepping comfort or anything like that. I think it's just there as a non-slip, you know, mechanism and stuff like that. So if you wanted something more substantial than this, or needed something more substantial than this, then you can always just swap it out for any insole that you want. And with all that being said, what is today's question of the day?
We have another battle, fight, scuffle question. Who would win, Nightwing versus Winter Soldier?
Nightwing, easy.
State your case.
Batman trained Nightwing. Nightwing's a better Batman than Batman, eventually. This is comic accurate, by the way. And yeah, and if Batman could take down Darkseid, dude has one arm. Like that's a superpower, you know what I mean?
No, I know. Not that I know a lot about Winter Soldier, but he just kind of reminds me of the Terminator, where he just doesn't stop.
That's only because he's been brainwashed, and that's only while he is the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
While he's Bucky, like as a good guy.
It says Winter Soldier.
I know, I'm just saying, like bring him on. Nightwing's got this. He would be surprised at first, especially by the arm, but he's like just as good of a detective as Bruce, and he's able to kind of like think on the fly, maybe even a little bit quicker as an acrobat and all that stuff. So he's able to adapt and really adjust quickly, and he's proven this time and time again in damn near every story. He's taken on bigger opponents, he's taken on stronger opponents. So yeah, while the Winter Soldier is a killing machine, like that's no different than like Deathstroke the Terminator, and Nightwing's taken him down numerous times. But anyways, sound off below and let us know who you think would win between those two, and on top of that, who wins in the UltraBoost race? Is the UltraBoost 5 a worthy, I guess, competitor to the previous models? Do you think that it fits right in line? Do you like the way that everything sounds and how it will feel? Sound off below, let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. We will catch you guys on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.